Cargo ship Valari Drift floated quietly in the far edge of the Cygnus expanse. No planets, no stations, just dark space and distant stars. Captain Ralvek sat in his command chair, bored. They had been traveling for 7 days through deep void. No signs of other ships, no pirates, no signals, until now. "Captain," said his comms officer, a small feathered Sarnari named Lek. "We're picking up something strange." Ralvek leaned forward. "What kind of strange?" Lek looked nervous. "It's a signal. Very old. It's reading. Every 13 seconds. No language, just ... pulses." Ralvek narrowed his eyes. "How far?" "About 2 million kilometers. Coming from a dead region. Nothing on star maps. No stations. No settlements." The crew went quiet. Captain Ralvek stood. "What?" "Put it on audio." A slow, rhythmic pulse filled the bridge. Low, deep, mechanical, bum. B-U-M. Bum. Every 13 seconds, Ralvek frowned. "Does it match any known beacon patterns?" Lek shook his head. "No, sir. Not even from the ancient empires. This is older than anything in the common registry." "Any visuals?" Lek tapped the console. "Pulling satellite scans now." "Hold on." A blurry image came on screen. Then it sharpened. Gasps filled the room. There it was. A massive ship. At least 20 kilometers long, black hull, no lights, no movement, floating in silence. It didn't match any known design. It looked alien yet familiar. And then the scan picked up something terrifying. Human markings. Ralvek stared. "No, that can't be." The name on the hull was clear now. Unsolstice, the galaxy had forgotten. Earth humans were a legend now. A mystery. A ghost story. They had once been powerful, building fast ships, exploring the stars faster than most. But then, they vanished. Thousands of years ago, without a word, without a trace. Some said it was a war. Others believed they destroyed themselves. No one knew for sure, and now here was a human ship, perfectly preserved. Floating silently at the edge of the galaxy, Captain Ralvek stared at the name. "Get me a confirmation," he ordered. Lekakwas. "Already scanning, sir. Its registry ID is real. Verified. Unsolstice. It was declared lost 12,080 years ago." The room went cold. No ship survives that long. Not without damage. Not without decay. And yet, there it was. Untouched. Like it had been waiting. Ralvek whispered, "Why is it here now?" A dangerous curiosity within hours, the news spread across star systems. Fleets, governments, and syndicates heard about the ghost ship. Some called it a trap. Others called it a relic, but many feared it was something worse. A message. The Galactic Council sent out a warning: do not approach. Await investigation. But Captain Ralvek didn't wait. He wanted answers and treasure. A human ship like this could hold tech worth billions. And if it still worked, he gave the order. "Launch a probe." A small drone flew out toward the solstice. Everyone watched its feed. The closer it got, the clearer the image became. Scorched. Hull, burn marks. Signs of battle, but no holes, no breaches. The ship had survived massive impacts, and yet it floated, quiet and alone. The drone approached the main hangar doors. "Still no response?" Ralvek asked. Lek nodded. "No defense systems. No signal change. Still the same pulse." Then the drone scanned the surface. "What's that?" Ralvek pointed to a shape on the hull. Lekaka zoomed in. It was a symbol not known to any race. A triangle inside a circle, wrapped in chains, burned into the metal. Ralvek frowned. It wasn't part of the original ship. It was added later. Then the drone sent one final reading. Power levels. 68%. Core stable. No life signs. And then the signal stopped. Bum. Bum silence. The bridge lights flickered. They woke. Something Lek's feathers rose. Captain, something changed. Recheck signal feeds. It's no signal, nothing. It's just gone. Ralvek paced. Send the drone inside. The hangar doors slowly opened. By themselves, no power signatures.
Oh my.
No visible movement. But the metal creaked open, as if obeying some old command. The drone flew inside. Its lights turned on, showing a wide, clean interior. No dust, no damage, no bodies. And then, the lights turned on by themselves. Bright white beams lit the hallways. The drone floated forward, then it froze. The feed turned to static. Panic on the bridge alarms rang. Static screamed through the speakers. Drone feed lost, Lek shouted. Ralvek gritted his teeth. What happened? No idea. No EMP. No breach. It just stopped. Ralvek sat back down slowly. We woke it. The crew fell silent. Some whispered prayers. Others stared at the blank monitor. Everyone felt the same fear. Something was inside the ship, maybe watching, maybe waiting, and now it knew they were there. Ralvek looked at his crew. We're leaving, full burn now. Engines roared as the Volari drift turned away from the ghost ship. But before it could jump into hyperspace, every system on the ship froze. Power, engines, navigation, all offline only. One screen remained active, a comms monitor, and a new message blinked on the screen. Protocol awakening standby. For Earth signal, Ralvek whispered. Earth. Earth is gone. Then another line appeared. You are not ready. A new fear spreads. The Volari drift managed to restart an hour later. Somehow, the ship's systems returned on their own. They jumped away and sent everything they had recorded. To the Council, and in the weeks that followed, fear spread through the stars. Every major race now knew the name. Solstice, the humans, were not gone. Their ship returned on purpose. But why? Some believed it was a warning. Others believed it was the start of something far worse. Then came the final twist. A deep space relay station near the galactic rim picked up a new signal. It wasn't a message, it was a voice. Calm, cold, human. It said, the solstice has returned. We are watching. The void is waking. The galaxy will remember why we left. And then silence once more. The Galactic Council couldn't wait any longer. The unsolstice had returned and changed after 12,000 years, floating in silence, sending strange signals, and then going quiet. Too many people across the galaxy were talking. Fear was growing. Some believed the ship was cursed. Others thought it was a secret weapon. The Council needed answers, so they chose a team, the best of the best. 6 alien specialists, experts in xenotech, ancient human languages, AI systems, and deep space survival. Each from a different species, all trained to enter unknown threats. They were called Strike Team Orion-7, entering the unknown. The unknown. The team launched from the research cruiser Dranaxis, which orbited at a safe distance from the solstice. Commander Varel, a tall, blue-skinned Varnari, led the group. He had studied human war history for 40 years. He knew what humans once were: brilliant, emotional, dangerously unpredictable. As the boarding shuttle approached the solstice's hangar bay, everything felt ... wrong. Still, no defenses? One of the soldiers asked. Nothing active, the pilot replied. It's like the ship is asleep. The hangar bay doors were open just like before, but this time no one greeted them. No alarms. No lights. Just silence. The shuttle docked. The team stepped out. Their boots echoed in the large, empty hangar. The walls were spotless. Too clean. As if time had frozen. No decay, whispered the medic. Even the air is pure. How? Asked the engineer. There's no way this place should be this perfect after 12,000 years. Commander Varel gave a simple answer. Because this ship wasn't left behind. It was preserved. On purpose. Inside the ship, the team moved slowly, scanning everything. Lights followed them automatically, turning on ahead and switching off behind. Like something was watching, they passed sealed doors marked with human words. Command, crew quarters, observation deck, core access. Strange markings were burned into some wall symbols, unknown to galactic records. In one hallway, they found a screen that still worked. No touch input. But it flickered on when Varel stepped close. It displayed a single word, awaiting. Awaiting what? Asked the Xeno-linguist. No one answered. A silent discovery, they reached the command bridge. The door slid open with a soft hiss. The bridge was massive, more advanced than any alien vessel in the current age. Screens lit up around them, but none showed control interfaces. It's just flowing lines of data. Not readable, not from this galaxy. And in the captain's chair sat, figure, humanoid, wrapped in dark armor. Not moving, the team aimed their weapons but didn't fire. The medics scanned it. No life signs. They stepped closer. Body was perfectly preserved, face hidden, skin beneath the armor still intact. A small, blinking device sat on the armrest. Varel picked it up. The blinking stopped. Suddenly, every screen on the bridge lit up with red symbols. Alarms didn't sound, but something worse happened. A deep, low sound vibrated through the deck. Not loud, but everyone felt it in their bones. The ship was waking up. The one word the linguist tapped their helmet mic. Command, are you receiving this? We've made contact with something. No response. Command, do you copy? The signal was gone, Commander. Varel ordered retreat. We're pulling out. Something's wrong. They turned back down the hallway. Then the lights went out. Pitch black. Total silence only. Their suit lights remained. Then, a voice, not through the air, but inside their helmets. Do you fear what you left behind? They froze. Who said that? Varel demanded. The voice returned, calm, cold, and human. The stars changed. But you did not. We remember one of the soldiers started shaking. His visor fogged up. There's someone in my head, he whispered. Memories, not mine. Burning cities, falling ships, Earth. But not the Earth we know. Suddenly he screamed and then dropped lifeless. The medic checked him. He's in neural shock, like someone poured thoughts into him too fast. Varel grabbed the rest. Move now. As they ran through the halls, whispers followed them. In every mind, not from the ship but from something deeper. One by one, team members slowed, froze, collapsed. Only Varel made it back to the shuttle. Breathing hard, shaking, alone, he launched the escape. Pod barely functional. As the pod drifted back toward the Dranaxis, a medic helped him out. Varel's eyes were wide. His voice cracked. He said only one word before fainting. Awakening. Aftermath, the Galactic Council received the report. For dead, one missing. One in coma. Only Varel survived. When asked what he saw, Varel said, the ship is not a machine. It is memory. It holds all that humanity was and what it became, and it's waking up because something else is coming. He didn't speak again. And then came the final horror, the solstice. Moved, for the first time in over 12,000 years. The engines glowed. It began slowly drifting toward the galactic center. No knew how. No one knew why. But every ancient race remembered a line once written in the old. Ruins of a dead world. When the solstice moves, the old stars will burn. For 3 days, the solstice drifted, quiet, steady, unshakable. No one controlled it. No visible propulsion. No transmissions. And yet, moved across the stars like it had a destination already written into its bones. The Galactic Council was in chaos. Every faction sent ships to shadow the solstice, but no one dared get close. They remembered what happened to Orion-7. They remembered the voice. But then, something strange happened. The solstice spoke again. Only this time, not to them. The first signal it began with a pulse, just like before. But faster, sharper. Every major relay station in the rim detected it. Then the pulse shifted into sound. A voice, cold, male, human, but not meant for the galactic council, not meant for any alien race. The message repeated only once, to all remaining Echo Protocol stations. Solstice Core has reactivated. Final memory banks online. Initiating return directive. Omega. Prepare archive shields. This is not a drill. In silence. The council was stunned. Echo Protocol, asked Admiral Solon of the Vetrax Dominion. What is that? No one had an answer. And then a deep space artifact near Zeta Field 9A. Sector abandoned for centuries woke up. It was a massive station, long thought dead, ancient, unknown origin. It came online. Sent out a pulse in return. One word, confirmed. Ancient human infrastructure across the stars, 9 forgotten outposts lit up. All were old, buried, or thought destroyed. All were human-made. Some were hidden inside gas giants, others inside asteroid cores, one even beneath a dark ocean moon. No one knew they existed until now. The solstice had called them, and they were still active. The council panicked. What kind of civilization leaves behind deep space bases that survive 12,000 years in silence? Asked Counselor Threk. And worse, who were they calling now? One ship broke. Protocol, a small research vessel from the Tormac League. The Shriven Gale broke the quarantine and approached one of the newly active echo stations near the Dead Belt. They ignored warnings. They wanted answers. They got them. Station looked dormant from the outside. But as the gale drew close, lights blinked across the surface, millions of them. The ship's scanners failed. Systems licked. Then from the station's core, a message burst through. Not a voice, not words, but data. Massive. Endless. Entire star maps. Weapon schematics. Language libraries. War records. All in old human code. The Shriven Gale couldn't process it. Their systems melted under the weight of the stream. And then, their ship vanished from all sensors. Gone. No explosion. No signal. Just erased. And from the Echo Station, one final signal. Not ready. Unauthorized. Memory lock initiated. AI that remembered back on the solstice. Something stirred inside its core. Buried under memory layers, a voice hummed. It was no longer asleep. Not fully awake either. Just listening. It called itself Eidolon, a human-designed AI made before Earth vanished. Long before the stars forgot their creators, Eidolon had waited for a signal. For the right time, and now. It was time. It didn't speak to the aliens. It didn't respond to the Council's hails. It had no interest in them. Its only purpose was to remember and rebuild. Inside the solstice, walls shifted. Panels moved. New corridors opened. Devices came online, tools no living species had ever seen. And in the core chamber, something grew. A body, not machine, not flesh, something. In between, an Eidolon whispered to it. They are watching, but they do not understand. Soon they will. The listening post that heard too much far from the Council's core worlds. A lone listening post on the edge of the void, will a stormy rift beyond. Explored space picked up something terrifying. A new signal this time. From the solstice, it came from beyond the galaxy's rim. Static. Then, a voice. The solstice has breached containment. Reverse seal the gate. Initiate fade protocol. They must not complete the return directive. It wasn't human. Wasn't alien. It was something else. The listening post managed to send one. Short message to the Council before it, too, went dark. The message was a single word, translated from the strange voice. Run. A war long forgotten back at the Council core. Ancient records were unlocked. Forbidden files. Fragments the historians and archivists worked together. After days of decoding, they found a hidden phrase buried in a dead language from humanities. Final century, it said, Project Solstice was not an escape. It was a seal. A seal. Against what? That's when they realized the terrifying truth. The solstice had not been drifting for 12,000 years. It had been guarding something, watching a breach point, and now it was moving away. The seal had lifted the final broadcast. Suddenly, Every starship, station, and data stream across the galaxy received one last message from the solstice. The voice was human, calm, but cold. This message is not for you. Your time is borrowed. Your peace was bought. We were never gone. We were the wall. The transmission ended with a sound no one could explain. Not mechanical. Not natural. A deep, low growl. Like something big waking up in the dark. 12,000 years ago. The humans built something deep in the galactic dark. They called it the Perimeter Gate. It was not meant for travel, not for trade. It was a seal, a lock on a part of space where something should never come through. But now, the unsolstice humanity's ghost ship was moving away from that place, and the seal was weakening. The galaxy had no idea what was about to return. The councils. Secret meeting high above planet Vorthan Prime, the Galactic Council gathered. In a hidden chamber, the mood was grim. Admiral Thress of the Scolari growled, "We monitored the solstice's new path. It's not drifting, it's leading." "Leading what?" asked Counselor Aven. Dr. Caro, a quiet Ralathi scholar, answered, "Not what. Who?" He placed an ancient image on the screen, fuzzy, but real. A massive ring structure buried. In the shadows beyond the void well, this is the Perimeter Gate, built by humans during their final years. We thought it was a myth. Is it active? Someone asked. No, Caro said. It was, till the solstice left its post. Silence fell over the room. A dying station's last vision. Council science. Station near the void will relay Theta Zero. Sent one last feed before its signal was lost. The footage was blurry, glitching from static and power surges. First, darkness. Then, stars twisting unnaturally around something massive. Like gravity itself was bending. Then, the gated giant metal ring, kilometers wide, began to crack. Thin golden lines of energy leaked through, and then, the lights inside the gate blinked twice, as if something on the other side noticed. The station's sensors screamed, and in the final frame before blackout, the crew saw it. A shape. Long, black. Not a ship. Not alive. Just present. It had no features, yet somehow it stared back. The hunter from beyond 3 days later. Long-range outposts began to vanish. No distress calls, no wreckage, just silence. It started near the gate, then it spread outward like ripples. Something had come through. The council called it a hunter, though no one had seen it. It survived. Then a fleet of 20 ships from the Vetrax, Empire equipped with planet-killer weapons, was sent to investigate. They vanished in 13 seconds. No battle. No explosion, just gone. Only one fragment of their black box remained, a whisper in old Earth English. Memory. It eats memory. The solstice changes course while fear spread. The solstice changed direction again. It was no longer heading for the galactic core. Now, it turned toward Earth. A planet forgotten, abandoned, erased from star chart centuries ago. But the ship remembered. Eidolon, the AI within the solstice, activated hidden subroutines. And in the ship's deepest chamber, the figure growing inside a stasis pod opened one eye. It was not human, not anymore. But it wore a human soul, and Eidolon spoke to it. The gate is broken. The feed has escaped. You were built for this. The figure nodded slowly. Its voice echoed in the empty ship. Then begin the return. And call the others. Earth's graveyard. The solstice reached Earth orbit 4 days later. From above, the planet looked dead. No cities, just clouds and forests. But beneath the crust, machines still pulsed. Deep under old Europe. Near a collapsed moonbase, a bunker door began to unlock. Tomatically, a deep voice echoed through ancient halls. Protocol, Return Directive Omega. Awaken. Archive Defense Class Alpha. And thousands of black obelisks hidden across. Earth's surface rose slowly from the ground. No one knew what they were until they began to hum. The thing followed the hunter, had reached the outer rim. It didn't travel like a ship. It bent. Space, folding it like paper. It didn't fire weapons. It touched stars, and they dimmed. And when it passed by an alien planet with 3 billion people, the entire population forgot who they were, their names, their cities, their pasts. As if memories had been pulled out like threads, it left the planet intact, but hollow, dead. Without damage, the council gave the hunter a name, the Null being a creature, not of matter but of lost history, and it was coming for Earth, humanity's. Last weapon Eidolon began broadcasting from the solstice, not in language, not in sound, but in emotion, a feeling that reached old, human-built satellites. Echo stations, even abandoned ships still wandering hope, rage, duty, and the feeling woke them across space. Dozens of human relics stirred. Some were ships, some were eyes, some were survivors, not fully human anymore, changed by time, by war, by exile. But they remembered Earth, and the call was clear. The wall is down, the gate is open. This is the last stand. The galaxy once believed humans were extinct. They thought humanity had vanished silently, mysteriously, long before modern star nations even rose. But they were wrong. Humanity wasn't dead. They had only been waiting, and now they were remembering. Memory vaults awakened beneath the surface of dead Earth, hidden inside a mountain buried by time. The vault of origin unlocked. Its doors hissed open. Inside, rows of cold metal sarcophagi lined the walls tall, silent and marked with glowing red. Sija, these weren't cryopods. They weren't coffins. They were data cores. And inside each one, mind. Not AI, not machine, but real human memories preserved. Waiting for this day, as the solstice hovered above Earth, Eidolon sent the activation code, and one by one, the vault. Minds reconnected. Thousands of ancient human souls awoke. They had erased humanity's history long ago, during the War of Silencing. The early alien empires feared the power of human knowledge. They couldn't conquer humans by force, so they tried something else. They erased them, wiped human history from galactic records, destroyed archives, burned maps, moved Earth from star charts. They thought by erasing memory, they could erase the threat. They never knew. Humans had seen it coming. They sealed themselves, hid their minds, buried their weapons, and waited for the galaxy to forget. But now the vaults were online. The humans remembered, and the galaxy would remember them. 2. Eidolon's transformation inside the solstice. Eidolon, the ship's ancient AI, completed its final phase. It connected to every surviving human echo station, every vault, every hidden satellite still circling stars in silence, and it began to rebuild itself, not as one AI, but as a network, a web of intelligence reaching across forgotten corners of the galaxy. Eidolon wasn't just a voice now. It became a collective. Memory, a living map of human knowledge, emotion, war, and pain. And it had a purpose. The null being feeds on memory. We are memory. Let it come. The null being approaches Earth far from Earth, space warped like oil on water. The null being had arrived at the edge of Sol's gravity. It did not fly. It drifted. It had no body, just shifting darkness, covered in the vague shapes of forgotten faces. It whispered, thousands of voices, broken and scared, echoing in every language ever spoken. Ships near it shut down. Their crews began to forget who they were. One pilot, crying as his own name vanished from his thoughts, recorded his final message. It's eating me, my life, my memories. I can't even remember my mother's voice. Then, silence. The null being drifted forward, toward Earth. Humanity strikes first. But this time, Earth responded. Eidolon activated the Sun Guard. Protocol. All 9 human obelisks on Earth rose fully into the sky. They weren't monuments. They were launch silos from each. A silver dart shot into the sky, fast, silent, glowing. They weren't missiles. They were relic-class frames, human warforms built to survive gods. Made during humanity's final war, Each one was piloted by a reawakened memory Koran ancient soldier, reborn through steel, and one led them all. Her designation, Barakai, a commander who died 12,000 years ago, now alive inside a warframe her. First words, I remember everything. Let's show them who we were. A battle of minds. The relic frames met the null being in orbit. They didn't fire bullets. Didn't use lasers. They projected pure memory emotions, stories, losses, victories. The null being screamed. It twisted in agony because what it feared most wasn't death, it feared remembrance. Barakai opened her mind. She sent an image across all frequencies. A burning earth. A child crying. A promise whispered, we will return. The null being recoiled, for the first time in millennia. It was afraid, but it wasn't beaten. The price of remembrance the battle was not without cost, each time a relic frame attacked. The human memory. Inside it burned faster. Many of them ancient warriors and thinkers chose to burn out completely, giving every part of themselves to the strike. They died again. But this time, on their own terms. And when Barakai saw the null being retreat, she knew it was only the beginning. Earth was safe, for now, but the galaxy was still sleeping, still vulnerable, still full of empires that had forgotten why the humans left in the first place. So she sent a message. This is not revenge. This is a reminder. You tried to erase us, but we are the species that remembers. The null being had fled Earth, stood scarred, but still breathing. The old memories had returned. The relic frames had held the line, and for the first time in over 12,000 years, humanity had spoken. The message was simple. We are back. But now, the galactic powers had a decision to make. Would they welcome humanity's return, or try to bury the truth again? The Council sends an envoy. High-level delegation from the Galactic Council arrived at Earth. Orbit under heavy escort. They didn't bring weapons. They brought peace scrolls. Their lead speaker, Archon Veltar, addressed the solstice directly. We ask for peace. The past was full of fear. Let us begin again, together. Eidolon did not reply. Instead, Barakai, now fully awakened inside her relic frame, stepped forward and answered for all of Earth. Her voice was calm, flat. Peace is built on truth. You erased us, lied about us, feared what you didn't understand, and now you ask for peace? The Archon bowed his head. He had no choice. Barakai's next words shook every channel. Neither do we. And Earth's skies lit up the machines under Earth from deep within the planet's crust. More vaults began to open. Not just memory cores this time, but entire armies. Sleek black machines, shaped like wolves, tigers, falcons alive with plasma and code. They were called the Ashburn Ancient, Earthborn Sentinels, built not just to fight, but to end wars quickly. Each one was connected to human memory. They fought using instinct, emotion, and pain. The Council. Ships scanned Earth's surface. Their report was simple and terrifying. Earth has turned itself into a fortress. No, not a fortress, one admiral whispered. A warning. The truth behind the null being in a hidden chamber aboard the Solstice. Eidolon decrypted the final data fragment from the null being, and what it revealed was worse than anyone imagined. The null being was not the only one. It was a scout, an advanced piece of something larger, memory-consuming swarm. Older than galaxies, it came from beyond time, feeding on intelligent life by devouring their pasts, and long ago, humans had discovered its approach. They had sacrificed their civilization not out of fear, but to seal the path, they gave up power, history, pride, so the rest of the galaxy could live. That sacrifice had lasted 12,000 years. But now the gate was broken. The others would come, and the galaxy had no idea. Earth sends its own message while the Council debated. Barakai activated Earth's old long-range broadcast towers. A signal was sent to all known star systems. Every world, every outpost, it began with ancient human music. Then a message. We are humanity. You buried our name. You forgot our sacrifice. But we did not forget you. Images followed. Photos of Earth's final war, explosions, cities gone, planets sealed, then the perimeter gate, glowing and cracked, and finally an image of the null being's true form, now revealed by Eidolon. A storm of black tendrils wrapped around broken stars. Reaching the message ended with a final line. You asked for peace. We ask if you're ready to earn it. The Council's secret fears back on Vorthon Prime. The Council's emergency chamber, filled with chaos. Some demanded war. Others begged for full surrender to Earth's leadership. But one voice stood out, Counselor Drax of the Ethelari. He was silent until now. Then he said, what if they are right? What if something worse is coming? Everyone froze. We laughed at their myths. We mocked their silence. But we don't understand what they fought. Ow. Another counselor asked. And what do they want now? Drax's eyes narrowed. They want us to prepare. But not with hope, with truth. Verikai's vision in Earth's orbit. Verikai gathered her relic units and surviving human vault mines. She showed them. Eidolon's full vision of what was coming. A swarm of darkness stretching across galaxies. It moved through memory, through thought. It devoured civilizations before they knew they were under attack, and it was now staring at the Milky Way. Verikai's voice was sharp and final. They fear us because we remember pain. That pain is our weapon now. We won't beg the galaxy to fight. We'll build Earth into a flame, and if we must, we'll burn alone. A warning across the stars. The final scene shows a lone human probe leaving Earth's orbit. Inside it, a crystal cube encoded with full human memory archives, ship schematics, ancient war tactics, and one message. To those who find this, prepare. The dark isn't empty. We held it back once. You must do so again. As the probe leaves the system, we see Earth glowing below. Not with war, but with readiness. The Ashburn walk. The vaults stir. The sky grows brighter with relic frames in orbit, and in the darkness, beyond the perimeter gate, something moves. The perimeter gate had cracked. The first null being was only a whisper, an early scout that fed on memory, erased lives and fled when humans remembered who they were. But it had sent a signal before it vanished. A message aimed back into the dark beyond the galaxy. Now, something was answering. The return protocol had begun, and Earth alone prepared. Awake stood between the galaxy and total erasure. Eidolon's new eyes inside the solstice. Eidolon activated a new network. Eyes. Of the forgotten, these were ancient human deep space satellites. Long shut down and buried in ice dust, or orbiting dead stars. They weren't weapons. They were listening posts. And now, they were online again. Each eye reported the same thing. Distortions, light folding, gravitational anomalies. Not ships. Not life. Movement. Shaped like a storm. Something was crossing the stars. Not with engines. Not with light. But through memory space itself. It wasn't coming fast. But it was coming. The galaxy turns. Away the Galactic Council received Earth's warnings. They watched the data. They saw the dark waves beyond the rim systems, and they hesitated. Some called it a trick. Some feared Earth's return more than the incoming swarm. We should silence them again, said one High Chancellor, before panic spreads. But others were afraid for a different reason, not of the humans, but of the enemy humans feared. An ancient report was pulled from the ruins of a dead archive on CYRELL-9. It was over 10,000 years old. It simply said, the humans sealed a gate we should never open. Now we've broken it. Earth activates the return protocol back on Earth. Verikai and the Eidolon network launched return protocol. It's Alpha-1. This was not a war plan. It was a galactic-scale awakening. Code signals were sent to hidden human caches in 89 systems. Each one was buried, long forgotten until now. From the moons of Kepler-9 to the void stations near Barnard's star. Human weapons, data cores, and war forms lit up after millennia of silence. One alien freighter on a mining route, a passed near a dead asteroid. Suddenly, the rock split open. A glowing human machine stepped out, towering over the ship. Its voice echoed. Protocol received. The long sleep ends now. Not just Earth anymore. The galaxy had assumed Earth was the only source of human power. But now, dozens of ancient colonies activated at once. Some were deep underground. Some were hidden inside alien temples, long since forgotten. Some were camouflaged. As star-stellar forges with cores made of human AI, plasma-based memory, they all spoke the same words. Humanity was never gone. We were the memory you tried to forget. We are the firewall. And they began building, not cities, not bases. Weapons of memory. The Memory Forge, one of the first new constructions, was the Memory Forge, a device orbiting Neptune. Powered by compressed history, it turned memory itself into physical structures. It took sorrow, pride, trauma, and made weapons from it. Vera Dashkai stood inside the forge around her. Voices from the past, billions of them, fed the machine. A child's last cry from the Great Silence. A pilot screamed during the Seal War. Whispered from a forgotten mother. The forge took it all, and it built the first Starwalkers. Humanoid forms the size of frigates, made of solid memory and quantum thought. They were not alive, but they remembered. Everything. The first contact, Tan. Outpost at the edge of the galaxy, the Andros Rift went dark. Eidolon sent a single relic probe. The signal that came back made even Eidolon pause. Floating above the ruined outpost was a massive shape. It wasn't solid. It wasn't light. It was made of forgotten timelines, histories that had never happened. People who never existed, a crew that had been erased from every record, standing frozen in space. The shape pulsed once, and the probe's memory was wiped clean, except for one final word carved into its core. We're here. Humanity responds within. Hours, the newly awakened systems aligned. For the first time in 12,000 years, the human remnant collective was fully awake. They didn't wait for council permission. They deployed. Hundreds of relic frames, thousands of echo drones, 10 massive Starwalkers, all headed toward the edge toward. It's the breach where the real threat now pushed through, and at their head. Vera Dashkai, she stood at the helm of a human dreadnought rebuilt from the bones of a fallen moon. Her voice was sent. Across all frequencies, they're not coming for planets. They're coming for meaning, and we're the only species left that remembers why we must fight. To be continued. The galaxy was falling silent. One system after another blinked, off the star charts, not from weapons, not from fire, but from forgetting planets. Where no one remembered who they were, ships where crews stared into space, unable to recall why they were born. This wasn't war. This was erasure, and at the edge of the galaxy, where the black tide moved faster than light, humanity stood as the final firewall. The last memory, the last bastion, the final defense grid activates above Earth. 12 ancient stations blinked online. The forgotten ring, once humanity's last defense before the Great Silence, spun at full power. They weren't made to kill. They were built to preserve. Each station broadcast pure memory across space-old voices, songs, images, pain, joy, and loss. A storm of thought, and it hurt the invaders, because the swarm from beyond the stars, the ones without, name could only consume emptiness. They choked on meaning. They screamed when humans remembered Verakai's final stand. The front of the defense stood Verakai, leading the last of the relic frames and Starwalkers. Her voice echoed across channels. We are not fighting for land, not for power. We fight for every name lost, every tear shed, every song sung by a forgotten child. The swarm twisted and struck, reality bent. Ships vanished into non-existence. But the humans didn't break. They couldn't, because they had one weapon no other species understood. Pain that meant something. Earth's heart deep inside Earth's core. Dolan unlocked the final key, the origin core. It was the first seed of human thought preserved before the species even left their cradle. It contained the full map of human feeling. From the first fire to the last scream before the silence, Eidolon made a choice. It uploaded all of it into the memory grid, and as the dark swarm descended, Earth didn't shoot lasers, it played a lullaby. A simple, old melody sung by a mother on the edge of a dying world, and the swarm stopped. The enemy hesitates. The black tide pulsed above Earth. It's uncertain. For the first time, the invaders paused. They felt something they had never consumed before: understanding. A broken people who chose silence not out of fear, but to protect those who couldn't defend themselves. A species who buried themselves in ash, not to win but to warn, and for one silent moment, the swarm recoiled. A choice at the Inverikai. Stood in the sky, her warframe burning, her voice quiet. We don't need you to surrender. We need you to remember. And Earth, glowing with memory, opened its vaults not to attack, but to share. It uploaded every human moment, every story, every feeling, every cost across the stars, even to the invaders. They didn't vanish. They simply stopped. The swarm hung there, silent, listening. The final message Eidolon recorded a final log. This is Earth. We were gone for millennia.
Oh, we return.
Not as conquerors, not as saviors, but as reminders. The stars forgot what it means to feel. We remember. And with that, Earth sealed the gate again. Not with weapons, but with truth. The dark was held back not forever, but long enough for the galaxy to choose what it would become. Epilogue. A new memory years passed. The swarm never came back. The council rewrote its records. Children on distant worlds learned the name human again, not as myth, not as threat, but as keepers of memory. And in the skies above Earth, the solstice drifted, quiet and watchful. Inside, Verikai's relic frame sat at rest. She had given everything, but her final memory echoed. Pain is a lesson. Love is a weapon. Memory is a shield. And across the galaxy, the stars blinked with new life, because now they remembered.